Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and welcome back to System Shock Radio. This is a very special episode of System Shock Radio because today we're celebrating another very special birthday. We celebrated mine on Thursday by reviewing WrestleMania 24. If you haven't already, go check out that review. But today is a different birthday, that being Mr. Spyro the Dragon. So, yes, on this day, 25 years ago, we were introduced to almost everyone's favorite, purple scaly dragon with the release of the first Spyro the Dragon game. And from there, ups and downs, admittedly, in the career of Spyro. Spyro is a man, a dragon, if you will, with many ups and downs, many twists and turns, some highs and some lows. So pretty much just a celebration of the purple dragon, and I've been monitoring closely the social media profiles for Spyro. They have a Instagram and a Twitter / X. So I've been monitoring those mainly to see. Come on, it's Spyro. You know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that potential Spyro 4 announcement, and I kind of touched upon Spyro 4, or not even touched upon. I did a video talking about the possibility of a Spyro 4. I did that a little while ago, about a month or two ago. So if you haven't already, go check out that video as well. But I don't really want to restate too much what I already talked about in that video. This is more talking about my experiences with Spyro. Some stuff I'll probably still restate because some of it does bear repeating, but the possibility of a Spyro 4 does excite me because Spyro is someone that is dearly missed, and I see a lot of the comments on like the social medias. A lot of people talking about how they love Spyro and everything, a lot of posts saying how much they love Spyro, but also a lot of people just like me anxiously, patiently waiting for the day where Spyro 4 is announced, where we get a announcement for Spyro 4. If it is indeed in the works, today would be the perfect day for the 25th anniversary. But until then, and for now, I guess we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled and keep on hoping. But for me, Spyro is someone I definitely grew up with. I had a PlayStation 1 in my room. It was more so the family's PlayStation 1. It just happened to be in my room, but because it was in my room, I often played it. And I had the original Spyro trilogy, and I had the greatest hits version. And I guess my dad bought like a box set or something, and so. And the story of why we actually got the PlayStation 1 is also a fascinating one, so maybe I'll tell that at some point. But yeah, so we had Spyro games on the PS1, and I played them, and I adored them. What really popped out to me was how colorful the environments were. The music rocked as well. Like, the music was fantastic. The characters were fun for the most part. The challenges were kind of difficult, only because I was a kid and therefore sucked at video games. Now that I'm an adult, I suck slightly less at video games. But what really stood out to me about the game was the colors, how everything was so colorful and vibrant and fun. It really breathed the life into each environment, which was what made it fun then, is what made it fun now. Being able to collect stuff, whether it be gems, or dragon eggs, or the orbs in the case of Spyro 2, the dragons in the case of Spyro 1. And Spyro, for all intents and purposes, is a collectathon, so going around collecting stuff. And it's not really a game where it's not really a game where it has a whole bunch of tutorials and stuff like other games, which, nothing against those games, obviously, but for the most part, Spyro is very much like okay, here's your objective, here's what you gotta collect. Alright, go ahead. But pretty much pretty much just let you do what you need to do. There was some like tips from time to time when you rescue certain dragons in the first game, but otherwise the game mostly just let you explore, and the worlds were nice and big and vast to explore. Not quite as linear as like Crash Bandicoot, where Crash Bandicoot was more of a linear hallway, where a lot of times you get from point A to point B, and you have some collectibles along the way. A Crash is more in the vein of like platforming, and obviously nothing against that. I love the Crash games, but the errors were more in the vein of platforming, getting from point A to point B, having some collectibles and secrets as well. With Spyro, they mostly just let you explore, let you do your own thing, and for the most part with nice, wide open worlds, which is why I maintain that Spyro is easier to 100% than Crash. I haven't 100%ed Crash, and I don't think I will. Sadly, my skill is not up to snuff in that department, but Spyro, yes, a lot of fun to traverse and to explore in all the worlds. And so I became attached to those games. And then when we got our PS2, we had Spyro games for the PS2. Sadly, Spyro's time on the PS2 was a mixed bag. We had Enter the Dragonfly, which, considering how that game turned out, it's pretty much like me talking about Enter the Dragonfly is kind of beating a dead horse, but it was a little rough at times. And then there was a Hero's Tale, which I'd argue not as bad as Enter the Dragonfly, but not quite as good as the originals. And I think people are kind of split about Hero's Tale. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it. I think part of that, for the people that don't like it, part of that might have to do with not only Enter the Dragonfly, but also like the GBA games around this time were kind of they were okay for the most part, but they had some of the games such like the Crash crossover, which, how did they ruin that? Like Spyro and Crash, that seemed like a very like feasible. Yeah, obviously you definitely want to go with that crossover, but it didn't really pan out the way it should have. And then there was the Legend of Spyro games, which tried to take it in a whole new direction. And the reason I say that I've said before, and I'll say again, that Spyro and Crash are so intertwined is because their stories are so similar. Yeah, the original trilogy, then they jumped to next gen, and that turned out kind of rough. Then they tried a new direction with the series. Then they lay dormant for a while. Spyro had a bit of a venture, which we'll get to, but then they lay dormant for a while before coming back in a blaze of glory in the modern times with first Nostalgia Tour, and now, at least for Crash, doing new stuff with the IP. But yeah, so there was that. But then there was the Skylanders games, and yeah, Skylanders, I think, for the most part, did kind of use Spyro as kind of just like I don't necessarily want to say marketing ploy. Well, kind of marketing ploy, but I really used him as like the crutch. I would say for the game. But I had Skylanders. I seemed interested. The whole Toys to Life, that was a phase for a little bit with games like that, or like Disney Infinity or Lego Dimensions. But I had Skylanders games, had them all the way up till Swap Force, and kind of fell off after that. But yeah, so. There was that, but then Spyro came back with a vengeance with the Reignite trilogy. Now, how I had been anticipating the Reignite trilogy ever since the Insane trilogy came out, and I think a lot of people were. That's when the Insane trilogy was announced and then dropped, pretty much like an ultra scaled up HD version of the classic Crash games. That's when I think a lot of people's ears perked up, like, ooh, is Spyro next? And lo and behold, the Spyro Reignite trilogy was announced, and I was hyped. I was like, yes. And then more stuff kept coming out about it, seeing like all the footage and stuff, seeing like all the music, the fact that the music is remixed, like seeing all this stuff. I was like, yes, more, please, more. Or I pre-ordered it and everything. It was supposed to come out September, I think, 24th, if I'm not mistaken, but or it might have been 21st, but it got pushed back to November 13th, which for starters is also a friend of mine's birthday, but it also gave me enough time to pre-order it, and I pre-ordered it, and that morning, like like right before going to classes. Is it downloaded onto my PS4 and playing that as soon as I got up, like playing it, roaming around with it. It just transported me right back to my childhood, and I got this nice warm feeling inside of me. And I'm hoping, even though it's dormant for now, sadly not really doing anything with it other than using it to supplement Crash, which, hey, that's not really a bad thing. I love Crash, and the fact that Spyro's getting a spotlight at all is nice. In fact, Spyro characters are going to be available, looks like, for Crash Team Rumble, starting soon, in a couple weeks. But yeah, so here's to me still hoping for that. I'm still holding out hope for that Spyro 4. Or maybe it's a fool's errand, but I am still holding out hope for that Spyro 4. Or Spyro holding a near and dear place to my heart. The best of times and the worst of times for everyone's favorite purple dragon, but that I'm still gonna hold out hope. But happy 25 to Spyro. Oh, and I've talked about it even more when I did the Spyro levels tier list and when I reviewed the Reignited trilogy / like the original trilogy. I kind of did 2 in 1 because I streamed the games over on Twitch, which follow me on Twitch, even though I haven't been live there in a while. Follow me on Twitch at the NDiddy. That's THWE_NDiddy. So I haven't been on Twitch in a while, but don't worry, I will be back. But nevertheless, that's going to do it, I think, for this episode. Kind of just wanting to talk about Spyro a little bit. Any excuse to talk about Spyro, I will definitely take. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the episode and Spyro the Dragon. And are you anxiously waiting a Spyro 4 just like I am? If you want to hear more about what I think a Spyro 4 will look like, go check out my Spyro 4 discussion, and if you guys want, maybe I'll do more Spyro content in the future. But thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.